can already hear the Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls. Dun, 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 dun,
That's my fault. I'm not.
Hello, people of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and this is Solitary and Unsustained. Today, we have a very well-known booktube challenge that I will be doing, and it's the Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge. I've seen a lot of other people do this challenge. The list could go on and on. So by no means did I create this challenge. Funny enough, I have gone through this list before and have even made an effort to read some of the books on here. So if my score isn't too bad, that would be why. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, the Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge. First up, 1984. If you've seen my other video where I rate classics so that you don't have to read them and you understand what they're about, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I talk about 1984. It's alright. Yes, it's groundbreaking, but personally, I had to read it for school. It was a little boring, but it's pretty good. But yes, I read 1984, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Actually, no, I don't own that one, and I've not read it. Alice in Wonderland, I think I read it in like middle school, elementary school. Yes. The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. No idea what that is. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe one day. An American Tragedy. No. Don't know what that is. Angela's Ashes. I have no idea what this book is about, but my only sort of knowledge about it is when, I think in The Office, like, I want to say it's the episode where Pam and Oscar and Toby have like that reading finer things club where they like read books and they make food and eat food that was in the books, and I think they talked about Angela's Ashes.
Angela's Ashes. Top of the morning to it. Did you even read it?
But I definitely only have heard of it because of The Office. Anna Karenina. I just finished it. I highly recommend. It is not very plot heavy, but it's such a great character study. Tolstoy really does such a good job with just really diving into each character's, inner thoughts and being, and it's fascinating. Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl. Yes, I've read it. It's interesting. It's not my favorite, but, it's there. The Arcadian War. No. The Art of Fiction. No. The Art of War. No. As I Lay Dying. I would like to try some William Faulkner, if that's how you pronounce it. But no, I've not read it. Atonement, I've heard that's really good. Babe, I've not read the book, but I loved the movie as a kid. Bel Canto, I've read one Anne Patchett book, and it was The Dutch House, and I was so extremely bored. So I do not plan on reading any more Anne Patchett because of that. Maybe I'm missing out. If I should read another Anne Patchett book, comment down below. The Bell Jar, yes. I read that at the end of my college experience. It was just the right time. It hit, everything it needed to hit. Beloved by Toni Morrison. I'd like to try it out. I've not read it. Beowulf? No. No. Brave New World. I've started reading it. I own the book, but no. Carrie. I recently read Carrie. I don't like Stephen King books very much. Like, I think the story is interesting, very iconic. Like, I've read The Shining and Carrie, but just his writing style just does not gel with me. I don't enjoy it. Catch-22, no, but I'll probably read it at some point. The Catcher in the Rye, Holden is unhinged. But was it entertaining? Did I enjoy the read? Yes. I guess the plot really isn't that interesting, but yeah, just some people like it, some people don't. I don't know how to describe it. Charlotte's Web, probably. I'm gonna say probably. A Christmas Carol, yes. I think it's like one of the only Charles Dickens books that I've read. Clockwork Orange, no. Code of the Woosters, no. I've not read much Shakespeare. I think I've only read like Romeo and Juliet. The Complete Poems of Anne Sexton, a YouTuber, a booktuber, UnCarly made a video where she had to read Anne Sexton and she said it was really good, and then at the end she was like, but apparently she's a terrible person. So, probably won't read it. Crime and Punishment, no. Never read any. Dostoevsky. The Crucible, no. Cujo, no. Probably won't read another Stephen King. The Da Vinci Code. I've read Angels and Demons, but not Da Vinci Code. I do own the book. Maybe I'll read it. We'll see. It's not at the top of my list right now. I don't think I've ever read a single Judy Blume book. I feel like that's something missing in my childhood. Driving Miss Daisy. Yes, I've seen Driving Miss Daisy, but I've not read the book. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Honestly, if you... like, in pop culture, we know what this book is about, and, like, the twist. So, to already know the twist makes it, like, less worth it when you're trying to read it, because it just is kind of dull. The Complete Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. I think I've read a few short stories, so I'm gonna check it off. Who's really read all of it? Has Rory really read all of it? Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. Alright, we are going strong with 3%. Fahrenheit 451. I just bought that recently. Not read it, but maybe one day. The Fellowship of the Ring. I've read The Fellowship. It's pretty good. It's a little slow. I'm hoping to get through the next few books. Flowers for Algernon. I've read it. It was okay. Not my favorite. Frankenstein. You know, a lot of people really love Frankenstein. And I will say, like, I enjoyed the parts from Frankenstein's monster's perspective, but the rest of it was, like, so boring. So boring for me. Franny and Zoe. It's kind of like two separate stories, but the first story, I think that's Franny, the first story. Super interesting, kind of strange, but the second story, oh my goodness, it was so boring. I think it's just Zoe kind of going on some weird, distracted tangents of, I don't know, it just, I couldn't get through it. I mean, I finished it, but it was not my cup of tea. The Gnostic Gospels, try to say that five times fast. The Gnostic Gospels. Goldilocks and the Three Bears, probably. Alright, come on guys. We're just gonna check these children's books off. Yes, I've probably read it at some point. The Graduate, seen the movie. The Grapes of Wrath, I've read East of Eden, but not The Grapes of Wrath. I think The Grapes of Wrath, is that the shorter one? Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. The Great Gatsby, yes. Great Gatsby's really good. Hamlet. I want to read Hamlet. I feel like Hamlet's good. I've tried to watch a couple of the movies. All the Harry Potters. I have read the whole Harry Potter series. It's okay. You know, it's very iconic. I think I enjoyed it when I read it. I would think I was like in first grade or, you know, somewhere in elementary school. Read the whole series. You have to be a kid when you read it, really. Like, I feel like it probably would be really difficult for an adult to read it, having not known anything about it. Because it's really just, you know, that childhood imagination that those books engage and, you know, intrigue. Not that adults don't have imagination, but anyway. High Fidelity. I tried to watch the show remake with Zoe Kravitz. It's pretty good. The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. Rory Gilmore is an educated girly, isn't she? How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Yes. I'm gonna finish this whole video and the only one is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Hunchback of Notre Dame. I just bought that. So I may finish it in the next few months. I don't know. Takes a village. Jane Eyre. Yes. Jane Eyre's great. Go watch my classics video. I think I talked about Jane Eyre at some point. The Joy Luck Club. I would like to read that. I think the movie is supposed to be really good, right? Julius Caesar. Yes, I've read that. It probably was like an abridged version or something for school. Kite Runner. I've not read Kite Runner, but I have read 1,000 Splendid Suns by the same author. Really good. So I hope to read Kite Runner at some point. The Kite Runner. Life of Pi. I read Life of Pi in high school. It's interesting. I don't know how to describe Life of Pi. Maybe I need to reread it to really kind of give a full understanding. Little Women. I have a really cool used copy of Little Women. It's got like these old illustrations and things. Maybe I'll read it at some point. Lord of the Flies. Yes, I've read Lord of the Flies. I thought it was good. Some people really don't like it. The Lottery. Read it in school, like in like middle school or something. The Metamorphosis. Yes, I've read The Metamorphosis. Really interesting kind of, it seemed like a really interesting kind of allegory for like mental health struggles in the beginning, but then it kind of got a little boring after a while. So, I mean, it was okay. A Movable Feast. I've only read one Ernest Hemingway, which was The Old Man and the Sea, which I did like, but it is really slow. I don't know if I would recommend that for a first read for a writer. I've seen the movie of My Sister's Keeper. I thought it was okay. Let's see. Night. Yes, I read Night. I want to say it was in like elementary school or middle school or something. Oh, Of Mice and Men is the short one. Oh, right. I think Grapes of Wrath is really long. No, I've not read it. The Outsiders. Classic. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Good stuff. I really am curious to reread that, actually, because I really enjoyed it when I was in like middle school. It probably doesn't hold up quite as well as I think. The Picture of Dorian Gray. Yes. Pride and Prejudice. Of course. The Razor's Edge. Of course, I've seen Emma Chamberlain's video. Or videos. I forget if it's multiple videos. Carly's made videos about it. I would like to read it at some point. Do I know what it's about? No. I've just been influenced. Rebecca, yes, I read it. Read it in the last few months. I've read an excerpt from reading Lolita in Tehran in high school, but I did not read it. Romeo and Juliet, yep. A Room of One's Own, yes. Rosemary's Baby, I've seen the movie. A Room with a View, I've also seen the movie. Really kind of strange. There was some weird scene with like guys running around a pool. Like I don't know. That's all I remember from it. Daisy Miller. I regret reading that. It was so boring. The Shining. I mean, The Shining is interesting, but once again, it's just Stephen King's writing style that just does not. I just can't do it. Sophie's Choice. I've seen the movie. I'm seeing a trend here. Story of My Life. By Helen Keller? No. Stuart Little. Guess what I'm gonna say? Yep, I've seen the movie. A Streetcar Named Desire. Also seen the movie. Terms of Endearment. Guys, what's coming? Yep, I've seen the movie. To Kill a Mockingbird. I've read the book and seen the movie. There you go. And I think it's really good. I really liked it. I read it in high school. I was a freshman in high school. Ulysses. I've heard it's very challenging. I don't know. I mean, if people only talk about how challenging it is, but not what it's about, is it worth reading? I'm not sure. Are we on the last page? Page 9, guys! We've made it to the last page. The Virgin Suicide, yes. I've read it. It's such a strange book. Do I like what the author is trying to communicate? Probably not. Was it like a weird, strange experience that I kind of enjoyed? Yes. Don't know how to explain it. Well, some people really don't like it. Some people like it. I don't know how to explain why. Wizard of Oz, yes, I've read the book. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Yes. Wuthering Heights? Yes. I didn't like it very much. Like, there are parts of it that are kind of interesting, like, you know, the atmosphere, but it's actually just, like, really slow, and kind of follows too many generations, I think. I don't know. Not my favorite. Joan Didion, The Year of Magical Thinking. I've not read the book, but I accidentally ordered the wrong thing. It was this like shortened version. It said it was like a play version. Still not really sure what it is, but I guess it just must be like some abridged version of this book. But it's like already a short book, so I'm not even sure why it exists. But I've read that and not the actual Year of Magical Thinking. But I enjoyed the thing, this play thing. At some point I will read The Year of Magical Thinking because I've heard it's really good. And I've already sort of kind of read it. Yeah, so that was the end of this list. So what's our result? 3 stars. That's pretty good. 3 out of 5 stars. 12%. How 12% is 3 out of 5 stars, I'm not sure, but I'm going to look at that 3 stars and be happy. 42 out of 3... 42 is pretty good. 42 out of 339. Better than 64% of users on this list, but I did not beat the average score of 51. But 9 books off from the average score. That's pretty good. But yeah, so this has been the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you feel inspired to read some of the books that Rory Gilmore read, or maybe just go watch some Gilmore Girls. Why not? Have a good rest of your day. See you later. Peace. If you're out on the road, feeling lonely and so cold,